Hello and welcome back to Grace Daily Motivation. Today, we will be exploring the unknown years of Moses, the hidden life and secrets of the Bible's greatest leader. Although Moses is known for his role in leading the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, not much is known about his early life. So let's delve into the mysteries of Moses' past and see what we can learn. Moses was born during a time when the Israelites were enslaved by the Egyptians. To save his life, his mother placed him in a basket and set him adrift in the Nile River. The basket was discovered by the Pharaoh's daughter, who took pity on the baby and raised him as her own. In this way, Moses was raised as an Egyptian prince, but he never forgot his Hebrew roots. This early life of Moses is described in detail in the book of Exodus, chapter 2. At the age of 40, Moses fled Egypt after killing an Egyptian who was mistreating a Hebrew slave. He spent the next 40 years in the wilderness, where he married and became a shepherd. During this time, he had a life-changing encounter with God at the burning bush, where he was called to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of slavery. This encounter is described in Exodus 3. Not much is known about Moses' time in the wilderness, but it is believed that he spent his time seeking God and learning from him. He may have also studied the teachings of his forefathers and prepared himself for the mission that God had in store for him. In Deuteronomy 34:10, it says, "Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face." Moses' experience in the wilderness prepared him for his role as a leader. He learned the importance of patience, humility, and obedience. These qualities would prove essential as he led the Israelites through their journey in the wilderness. In Deuteronomy 8:2-3 it says, "Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands." During his time in the wilderness, Moses also had a profound encounter with God on Mount Sinai. This is where he received the 10 Commandments and the laws that would govern the Israelites. This experience is described in Exodus 19-20. It was a pivotal moment in Moses' life, and it solidified his role as a prophet and leader of the Israelites. Moses' life is a testament to the fact that God can use anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances. Despite being raised as an Egyptian prince, Moses was chosen by God to lead the Israelites out of slavery and to be their prophet and lawgiver. His early life in Egypt and his time in the wilderness all played a part in preparing him for this mission. In Exodus 3:10, God tells Moses, "So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses' experience in the wilderness also taught him the value of relying on God's provision. In Exodus 16, we see the Israelites grumbling and complaining about their lack of food and water. But Moses knew that God would provide for them, and he encouraged them to trust in him. This reliance on God's provision would be essential as the Israelites journeyed through the wilderness for 40 years. Another important aspect of Moses' character was his courage. In Exodus 14, we see him leading the Israelites through the Red Sea, with the Egyptian army in pursuit. Despite the seemingly impossible situation, Moses trusted in God and displayed incredible courage in leading the Israelites to safety. This act of faith and bravery would inspire future generations of Israelites. Moses' leadership was not without its challenges, however. In Numbers 20, we see him striking the rock to bring forth water for the Israelites, instead of speaking to the rock as God had commanded. This act of disobedience resulted in Moses being barred from entering the Promised Land. It serves as a reminder that even great leaders are not immune to making mistakes. Despite his flaws, Moses is regarded as one of the greatest leaders in biblical history. His impact on the Israelites and on the world as a whole cannot be overstated. His legacy lives on today in the laws that he delivered to the Israelites, which have influenced countless legal systems around the world. The story of Moses also serves as a reminder of God's faithfulness and his ability to work through imperfect people. Moses was far from perfect, yet God chose him to be the leader of his people. This should give us hope that God can use us, despite our flaws and shortcomings, to accomplish his purposes. In conclusion, the unknown years of Moses were a time of preparation and growth. They helped shape him into the leader that God called him to be and equipped him for the challenges that lay ahead. We can learn from his example of seeking God, relying on his provision, displaying courage, and trusting in his faithfulness. Thank you for joining us today.